Hey up, I'm Alex, I'm the Knight DigiDestined, and in this episode of Finding Digimon, I have the pleasure of chatting with a long-time online friend of mine, Laila from Laitama. Laila is well established in the Tamagotchi community, well established in the Digimon Vpet community. She has an ace YouTube channel, she has an ace Instagram account, and she's just all around an absolutely ace person. So, ladies and gentlemen, Laila.
Oh yeah.
Is it
Oh
working?
yeah. We're cooking.
Oh, hell yeah. Finally. Oh my God. Oh my God, that shirt is so cool.
Red Bull got Skull Graham on as well. There he is. So I'm here with the wonderful Lila from Laitama.
Hi. I told you I hate introductions.
That is the hardest part, 100%. So, speaking of introductions,
Introduce yourself.
Yeah, so yeah, I'm Lila. I have a YouTube channel called Laitama. It's also an Instagram and all that stuff. And yeah, I feature a lot of virtual pets, and I've been branching into other kinds of content. And that's it.
Perfect. Okay, cool. So, as this is Finding Digimon, the first proper question is going to be, what was your first touch with Digimon?
Okay, so like a lot of people, it was the anime, of course. And yeah, I remember it being like a Pokemon alternative that was a bit more mature and a bit more interesting. And I love the Pokemon anime too, but it was just kind of like deeper than that. So yeah. And then I honestly I had no idea that Digimon was a virtual pet until the 20th anniversary came out. So that was like I literally there was like a huge gap in time where like I I almost feel like I had like a second first touch with Digimon, which was the virtual pets. Um, so yeah, it was insane because I was a Tamagotchi fan for a long, long time, and Tamagotchi and Bandai are the same family. You would think that Tamagotchi fans would know about the Digimon virtual pets, but it was like they didn't exist. I was so shocked. Like when the 20th anniversary was released, I was like, okay, this looks cool. I think I would like this, but like 20th anniversary, like what where have I been this whole time? I was so shocked. And yeah, so it just kind of like snowballed from there. I was like, oh my God, I have so much to catch up on because I have literally 20 years of a franchise that I just thought was like an anime and then some toys that I remember from my childhood. But I honestly, I think I was like too young when the original bricks came out to know what a Digimon virtual pet was. And in the US at least, I think they weren't as popular. Tamagotchi was really bumping, but I didn't even know the original Tamagotchi. So I just missed it completely.
It's weird, isn't it? Because the Tamagotchi fans didn't know about the Digimon original, and most Digimon fans didn't know about the Digimon original.
so it was just weird marketing decisions.
But yeah, cool. And the anime, did you start with season 1 or was it season 2? Like, was it Tai and the crew or?
Yeah, it was definitely season 1. I don't like Ty. I like Matt. I'm sorry.
You're killing me.
No, like honestly, Ty annoyed me, and I thought that I was like, because I rewatched it as an adult, and I was like, maybe Ty isn't so bad, and he still annoyed me. Like I appreciated his growth as a character, but and then Matt is like edgelord, emo, whatever. He's annoying too, but I like I connect with him more than I connected with Ty. So like Matt was more the main character that I kind of like gravitated towards when I was a kid. So
There's definitely Matt people and Thai people, so
So that's fair enough.
Team
yeah,
Matt or Team
definitely.
Thai.
Yeah, so I was always like a Matt person, especially because like they talked about like divorce and stuff on Digimon, and like Matt and TK's parents were divorced, and they talked about it, and that wasn't really something that I saw in cartoons, and my parents were divorced, so I was like, oh my God, like it hit me in my feels a little bit. I was like, oh my God, I understand. or like something like a franchise or a cartoon is like saying something that's like resonating with me. That's kind of weird. So, but in a good way, not
Yeah.
in a bad way.
I think it's what everyone says that saw Digimon back in the heyday, is that it was just so much more mature than other cartoons of the time. You know, it was the same target audience age range, but it was just handling more mature subjects, like, you know, Izzy being adopted, like say Matt and TK's parents being divorced, all that kind of stuff. And yeah, it definitely set Digimon as a cut above the rest. So we're both obviously Vpet and Tamagotchi fans, so I would like to know your absolute favorite Digimon device of all time and why.
Oh no. That's so hard because I like all of them. It's really, I mean, I've tried a few where I was like, okay, this isn't for me, I'll let it go. But I do really enjoy so many of them. And favorite of all time, okay, so you know how like you have that special connection with the version 1, and like whenever you like feel like you want to run a Digimon and you just want that feeling, you run the version 1, right? I kind of get that with the DM20. I don't know if it's like my all-time favorite because I really love the X2 as well, but like if I ever just want to run something and have that like Digimon feeling, it's always the DM20. I think a lot of people like crap on the DM20, and I understand why, but I also don't understand like how far people go to dislike it, because it's still a very good virtual pet. I've played a lot of virtual pets, like from different, you know, like my whole life, just like different brands and everything, like away from Bandai. And the DM20 is a good virtual pet. Like you can't say that it's not.
I think the people that crap on the DM20 are the people that have been spoiled by other devices, because like say it's like where the DM20 came in the timeline as well, because before then it had been radio silence from Vpets for such a long time, and then like you said yourself, you didn't even know there were Digimon Vpets until the Digimon 20th came out. So it was this huge release that packed so much into it, so much more than we've seen in, you know, a Digimon Vpet in a long time, like the Colosseum, the tag battles, the Jogress, all that kind of stuff. So yeah, people have been a little bit spoiled since then with like the X's and that. But it's a difficult, favorite device is a difficult question, because there is a difference between favorite and best. Like I believe,
Objectively speaking,
the best Digimon Vpet, the Digimon X, because it's just, I think it got everything right, but it's not my favorite, which sounds daft, but there is an element of that. It's a sentiment, I think is the word.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, and like people will go in like which one's the best. Like people go so hard, like objectively, this one's the best because it has this amount of features, and people will be like, well, I don't like that one because blah blah blah. So it's a very like personal preference when it's like which one's your favorite, which one is the best. I think the X is the best as well.
Oh, it's black.
Are we good? Yay!
We're back.
We're back. Thank goodness. Oh my gosh, that's so annoying.
Cool. So I know that you have a rich background in Tamagotchi. Can you tell us anything that you think Digimon could learn from Tamagotchi?
First of all, marketing. Like, oh
Yeah.
my God, marketing. Like they put, like if you look at some of the Instagram posts they make on like the Tamagotchi US page, they're like, you know, they have like professional lighting, like, you know, these little backgrounds and stuff, and it looks like whatever. And then they don't really do that for Digimon like at all, or at least not the virtual pets. And so I think marketing is something in terms of like growing the brand and you know, making sure we get more virtual pet releases or selling more product or whatever. I definitely think they could learn some marketing. And it's just, it blows my mind how much more popular Tamagotchi is than Digimon, like the virtual pets at least. Like I don't, maybe because Digimon has like grown away from the virtual pets in a lot of ways, and so they're just kind of like banking on nostalgia, and they're not, I don't really think, or for me anyway, it doesn't feel like they're trying to get a lot of new fans behind the virtual pets. It just feels like nostalgia, bricks on bricks on bricks. That's all we get. And it's kind of disappointing to be like a Digimon virtual pet fan. And, you know, we had the X1, X2. Where's the X3? Oh, we don't get it because they just kind of messed it up. So, like, if you're in Japan, you're having a grand old time. But if you're elsewhere in the world, you're like, you know, scrambling, like, oh my God, my pre-orders, oh my God, my proxies, blah, 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 you know. So it's just a lot harder to get your hands on them. So I definitely think Digimon could learn. And it's just crazy to say, like, what could Digimon learn from Tamagotchi when Digimon like came from Tamagotchi and they're the same company? I'm just like, you know, they could learn a lot, but they should already know it. But
no, amen to that. Yeah.
and then also, like, I feel like Tamagotchi embraces cuteness in a way that Digimon also does, but Digimon is more shy of it because it's kind of like off-brand these days, maybe to embrace the cuteness. Even like in the anime, we have like the really cute baby Digimon and all that stuff. So the franchise as a whole does embrace cuteness, but I know people really like the Digivice IC because you can like use little items and stuff that has been, you know, Tamagotchi has used that for like forever now. So yeah.
On the flip side, is there anything that Tamagotchi could learn from Digimon?
That's a good question. And it's hard because like they are very similar but very different, right? So there's certain things that like, you know, it wouldn't feel like a Tamagotchi anymore if they did this. But it would be hilarious if they could battle. Oh my God, if my Tamagotchi could battle, I would die. I would love that so much. Like you raise this cute little thing, you're feeding him all these cute little snacks, and then he goes and like battles somebody else. That would be hilarious. I think that Tamagotchi should definitely I used to be more into the cutesy aesthetic, but I'm more of a tomboy, so I enjoy the, you know, more rugged kind of funny, or not funny, but, you know, rugged, boyish look, whatever. So I think it would be great if they kind of like make more boyish or gender neutral colors. They, you know, don't have a lot of those these days. I think a lot of people would agree with me as well. And then on the opposite side, I would love to see like a Digimon with like flowers on it or something. I think that would be really cute. And also, I think one of the main reasons why Tamagotchi fans don't embrace Digimon is kind of because of the aesthetic. It's like, you know, this little brick thing that looks like a cage. Like that doesn't really appeal to Tamagotchi people. And it just still, like, I was thinking about it today, it just blows my mind how before the DM20 came out in English, so few people knew, like, because I have been collecting and I was on forums since like 2006. So, and I never heard of a Digimon virtual pet because the Tamagotchi community was just like completely silent about them. They had no idea. So I think if like Digimon embraced kind of a more feminine aesthetic for the Tamagotchi, like to cater to Tamagotchi fans, they would play, like buy it thinking it looks nice, play it, realize it's really fun, and then, and you know, maybe they would have more sales. I don't know. Because I've like literally seen people like Tamagotchi people buy it on a whim, being like, I like this color shell. I don't know if I'll like the gameplay, and then they love it because it's it's like the same thing, like, you know, just bigger, more battley, whatever, right? So
I will say though, I do believe that Digimon have been the guinea pig for Tamagotchi sometimes. I remember when we got the first vital bracelet and was all like, it's the coolest thing we've ever seen. And then a few months later, they announced the that color Tamagotchi watch that did everything the vital bracelet did and more, and was more affordable. And it was just like, thanks.
Oh, I know. Oh, it's so stinky, right? It's like, don't do it. Don't do us like that, man. Like, and yeah, the Tamagotchi Smart was like a slap in the face to the Digimon community, big time, big time. Very disappointing. It's like Digimon will take one step forward and Tamagotchi is like 10 steps ahead. It's so weird to me. I just don't understand it because like recently, in the past few years, I've just been so much more interested in the Digimon virtual pets rather than like the Tamagotchi franchise is starting to feel kind of stale to me. And I don't think it's happening to anybody else. Everybody else is having fun. The Tamagotchi Uni came out. Everyone's having fun. And I'm just like, this is kind of boring. But the Digimon virtual pets are always fun for me. So yeah. If you're watching this and you like Tamagotchi, I highly recommend that you get a digital monster version 20th because they're really cool. The end.
Perfect. Cool. So back to general Digimon. How does Digimon impact your daily life?
I mean, my Instagram, I follow a ton of Digimon accounts, so Instagram is flooded with that. I have a lot of YouTube that I follow Digimon stuff on. So I think it's more of like a social media thing for me. Unless I'm running a virtual pet, then of course, you know, you're getting beeped at all day. So, but yeah.
Can you hear the ice cream van? Can you hear the ice? I need some new wind.
It's crazy, like how like welcoming the Digimon community has been, and like how much fun it's been to be a part of like the Discord communities and all of that. And I love, you know, talking to people on my YouTube channel. It's a really nice community for me personally. I haven't had bad experiences. This might be a little bit of tea, but all the boys always tell me the boys are all mean to each other. I do see some like spats on Discord sometimes. I'm like, y'all need to calm down.
I've also seen very little like toxicity in the community. I've always been surprised how little kind of like hate and negative comments I get on like my videos and stuff, because obviously it's a niche within a niche. It's very out there. You know, I'm a 31-year-old bloke playing with toys, so I've always fully expected to get a ton of like people like, oh, why are you playing that? That's for kids or whatever. But I've never really seen it. So yeah, obviously there must be some bad apples in the bunch, but I'm yet to experience it. And yeah, I'm glad that you're having a similar experience, because I've always kind of the opposite of what you just said. I've always kind of thought like when girls come across into Digimon, whether they're going to get inappropriate stuff, because obviously it's typically a more male environment. So I'm always like, oh man, I bet she's getting some awful DMs or whatever. So I'm glad that you've not had such experience. So yeah, that's good to know.
Well, there was one.
Rewind.
Like I said, mostly very positive. I've made so many good friends, you know, really lovely people. But there, you do get a little bit more attention when you're a girl on in this community, which is like, duh, like it's all boys. One girl shows up, they're gonna be like, oh, even if they're not like, oh, girl, I need to hone in on that. It's like, oh, somebody different, like, you know, whatever. Yeah. So like there's definitely been times where I got like attention that I didn't want, like in DMs and stuff. And like I'm very nice to everybody. Like if someone messages me on Instagram, especially with Digimon questions, I'm always like messaging them back and like trying to be like very, you know, welcoming, because that's always the vibe that I've experienced like in this community. Everyone's really nice, willing to answer questions and all this stuff. So I wanted to, you know, give that back. Even though I'm not stupid, I know that like you can get into messy territory sometimes. So I have had a couple things where I was like, I had to. Maybe we can cut this part out, but I'll tell you right now, okay? Or we can leave it in. You guys got to watch out. If you message me, I'm going to tell all your secrets to Alex.
Swiftly moving on.
This went in a direction we were not expecting.
Yeah. So, your YouTube channel.
It's been awesome seeing your YouTube channel back up and running.
Can you tell us about what brought you back and what plans you have for the future of your channel?
Yeah, so I I always have like a ton of video ideas, and for a while my ideas were kind of like gravitating away from like virtual pet stuff. So, and I set my channel up to be like mainly a virtual pet channel. Um, so I felt like I couldn't make content that I wanted to make because like that's not my target audience, whatever. And so there would be periods of time where I just like disappear. And I do take a lot of social media breaks. But I love YouTube. I love making videos. I think it's an amazing creative outlet. Like even if, you know, I would say everybody should make a YouTube channel. It's a lot of fun. Just to, you know, express yourself, talk to people that you wouldn't normally talk to, and, you know, just a great creative outlet overall. So I made the choice to expand my my genre, I don't know, into just whatever I want to make. And that like completely opened up a new like wave of video ideas that I didn't even knew I had. I didn't even know that I had. English is hard. uh, yeah, so I've just been having a lot of fun with that. And also like I feel like now that I did open up and start creating other content, I've kind of wanted to make the virtual pet content more than I wanted to make it before, which is interesting. But it's just going to come in waves. I don't think I'll ever like consistently only, you know, make one thing. I think it's always going to be something different. And I really like that a lot. So if you want virtual pet stuff, it will come. It's not like, okay, I'm doing a video this week and it's definitely going to be virtual pets. It's going to be like, okay, me talking about a movie or a vlog or something else. So I definitely, hopefully I'll always come back to virtual pet stuff because it is like what started it off. And yeah, so.
And as a fan of your channel, I mean, I've been watching your channel for a very long time. I can definitely see that you felt like a fresh breath of inspiration since your break, because like seeing your vlog videos and stuff, as a viewer, it feels nice and refreshing and stuff. Like I absolutely adore that vlog you did out on the river and stuff. Like that was just so nice, and it was one of those where I could see that you was enjoying yourself and it was authentic. You know, like you said, you sort of accidentally pigeonholed yourself into just Tamagotchi stuff, which was good to start with, but now you've broken that. You've got this whole new perspective of it all, and you can see that as a viewer as well. And yeah, I'm absolutely loving your channel at the minute. You're definitely stronger than ever and amazing. So I'm genuinely.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. So I appreciate it because I was kind of scared. I was like, oh my God, will everybody run away? Because I don't want to like part of the fun of YouTube is like talking to people, right? So I didn't want to like lose everything, especially because I will continue to make virtual pet content. So yeah, I was like scared that everyone will run away, but so far so good. And most everybody stayed, I think. So it's been pretty cool. And I'm very excited. I'm definitely on like a little virtual pet kick right now. But you know, who knows what's gonna happen next.
The thing is, though, I feel like as like a creator, we can put too much pressure on ourselves, thinking like, you know, I recently did a Power Rangers video. I went into it knowing full well that performance wise it was gonna suck, because like my audience is all Digimon. It's been Digimon for like 99% of the time, so why would all of a sudden everyone want to watch the Power Rangers one when they might not give a crap about Power Rangers? But whereas a few years ago, I'd have been like, oh, I'm not going to do that because it's not Digimon. It don't really fit on the channel. This time around, it's kind of like, well, one video about Power Rangers shouldn't really make everyone just unsubscribe. Like, from my experience as a viewer on YouTube, it's more like people will only unsubscribe when you do something that they hate. You know, if you do something like start speaking about something that's totally, like, for example, on my channel, if I all of a sudden went super political or something like that, then people will be like, no, not here for that. And that's fair enough. So when it comes to the style channel that we do, as long as we're still just focusing it on stuff we enjoy, I don't really think people are going to massively unsubscribe over like one or two different videos.
Yeah. No, I mean, you like have such a strong fan base that I think you could make whatever you wanted and people would, it's crazy. Like people love you, and your channel's amazing. And I love that, like, like for me, I'm kind of like branching out in ways, like, in my own life that are not virtual pet related, but like you are kind of like expanding, like you took this little niche and you kind of expanded into making all these different styles of videos, and it's so creative, and I love seeing it so much. I'm like, what is Alex going to make next? Like, and also I think I mentioned this to you before, but I feel like making YouTube videos kind of like awakened this creative spirit in you. And I think that's my favorite thing to see. Like when people think like, oh, I'm not good at drawing, or I'm not good at this, so I'm not creative. And it's like, you never know, like you could be the most creative person, you just haven't found your medium yet, right? And so I think for you, like making Digimon content and just like exploring that genre and expanding it has been like it's been so cool to watch. I love it so much.
That's absolutely beautiful. Thank you. Like I've never but you proper got the nail on the head there. Honestly, thank you. No,
you're welcome. No, you deserve
it. Next, can you share a fond Digimon related memory?
Ooh, that's hard. That's really hard because I've had like so many in the past few years. I really love, I love our collaboration a lot. That was probably my favorite, one of my favorite videos I've ever made. I think it's the only collaboration I've done as well, except for this. So, I think just discovering that Digimon was a virtual pet was really amazing to me. Like it just blew me out of the water because like I remember I got into the Pokemon game late. My first Pokemon game was Heart Gold and Soul Silver, and I loved that game. But I wished, like, when I started playing Pokemon, I was like, I wish they had like, care-based mechanics in Pokemon. That would be so much fun, because I would love to like have a creature that you raise and then you also battle them. And then, DM20 came out. I was like, oh my God, this is perfect. I love this so much. I went insane buying a bunch of stuff. So I think that's probably one of my favorite memories, is like discovering that Digimon virtual pets were a thing, and then kind of like retroactively learning about learning about the virtual pets and trying them out. And so I think that's definitely, my favorite.
What would you like to see in the future of Digimon?
I want the X3 in English. Oh my God. I want the X3 in English so bad. I want X3 in English. I want Digimon Pendulum in color. What else do I want? I don't know. Those are the main two things that I would like to see. I think turning Seekers into an anime would be cool. But I'm not super into the anime. I think I've watched most of it.
Cool. And so lastly, share a message with the Digimon community.
Be nice to each other. We are, as a community, we're generally very nice, but be nice. Don't be too competitive. Like, I know that there's like a competitive aspect, but don't take it too far. It's not worth it. Thank you for being nice to me. And thank you for being nice to everybody. I don't know. This is hard. I don't know, honestly. Keep buying virtual pets for sure. And if you are a Digimon fan and you haven't tried the virtual pets, definitely buy them and try them out. Like the Digimon X or the Digimon version 20th are very cheap on Amazon. And they're fun, even if like it's not your thing. I think if you're a Digimon fan, it's worth trying it, because like I remember like raising Agumon on my DM20th for the first time. I was like, this is so cool. It's something I've been familiar with for a long time, and I enjoyed it. And now I'm enjoying it in a different capacity. So I definitely think if you're a Digimon fan, you should try the virtual pets. Of course, I'm biased, but.
Perfect. So thank you very much for your time. It's been an absolute pleasure.
Wait.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah.
I have questions for you. I had to write them down. So, my first question is, do Digimon virtual pets feel more like a toy, a video game, or something else?
So for me personally, it's something else because there's not enough to do on them for it to be a video game. I think like the Digimon X is the most interactive by a mile. You're leveling up your Digimon, you're doing quest mode. But if you're buying it to entertain yourself for an entire flight or train ride or something like that, you're probably going to get a little bit bored. It's for me, they're like a companion. They're something that you should integrate into your life because I find like, if you find yourself trapped in your thoughts or worrying about something, your Digimon beeps, you look at it, you see the Digimon that you love, and you smile, and it can snap you out of those moments. So for me, they're a companion, is the way I see them.
Yeah, I agree. It's like, um, I feel like there's people who like they get it or they don't get it, and like I'm glad that I get it because it's a lot of fun. Um, and I feel like they're like video game adjacent, right? Because to me they don't like obviously they're a toy, like the form of it is a toy, but then the mechanics and stuff is video game adjacent, but then it's not, like you said, it's not a full-fledged video game where you're very immersed and you can play for hours. It's just kind of like something you have throughout the day that you constantly check on. So it is like a companion, yeah. Um, and it's just so much fun, right? Like I feel bad for the people who don't have fun with it. So my next question is, what would Digimon look like in a world without Pokemon?
Oh, oh,
Ooh.
what a thought! What I think it would be absolutely massive because Pokemon really was the first big hit with any kind of like monster evolving franchise, which is why it's always compared with Digimon and other similar franchises. So if Pokemon had never existed, Digimon would come very, very shortly after. So I don't think there's anything else that would have taken that limelight. So had Pokemon never existed, I think Digimon would be the Pokemon now, by a mile. I think, yeah, it would have absolutely exploded. But then there's the flip side of that, whereas you could argue that maybe Digimon never would have made the anime had Pokemon anime not worked so well, because I believe Pokemon, the game, released in '96, the Digimon Vpet was '97, then I think the Pokemon anime was '98, I think, and then the Digimon anime was '99. So you could say that maybe Digimon took inspiration from Pokemon to make the anime, but then you could say maybe not, because obviously since toys and anime was a thing, people have been using animes and cartoons to sell toys. So I don't know. I think undeniably though, Digimon would be bigger than it is now had Pokemon never existed. But that said, I don't think that would make me want Pokemon to not exist, because I love Pokemon and I like Digimon for being that kind of underdog in some aspects. I like the underdog feel, the small pond kind of person. So yeah, that's kind of my roundabout answer.
How do you feel like when, because a lot of people like didn't get into Digimon because they were into Pokemon instead. Um, and so people often think of Digimon and think like, oh, it's like that Pokemon thing or like Pokemon knockoff or something. How do you feel when people say that?
Yeah, as you can imagine. The thing is, though, again, I like that it's not everyone's cup of tea. I like being a bit different, being into stuff that's not quite as mainstream. It just appeals to that side of me. So, I mean, the only time I get kind of like annoyed was at the beginning of the Pokemon Go resurgence, because before Pokemon Go, Pokemon was very much a bit quite like Digimon is now, where it's those that like it love it, those that don't like it have nothing to do with it. Then Pokemon Go came out and it was super popular, and you had all these like trendies coming back to Pokemon, making out that they've always loved it, and oh, I've always loved Pokemon, and they were probably the guys that were bullying us at school for liking Pokemon. So trendy, and then people saw me playing it, and we'd be talking Pokemon, I'd be talking all the games and stuff, and I was like, oh, do you remember Digimon? And most of them would pretend like they'd never heard of it. And I'm like, there's no way anyone my age could remember Pokemon and not Digimon, even if you never watched it. But because that wasn't the cool geeky thing to like, they were like, no, never heard of Digimon, never heard of Digimon. But because Pokemon is the cool geek thing to like, everyone's like, yeah, I love Pikachu, he's great. So that's the only time I get up on my soapbox.
It's so weird how like people are only like into something if other people are into it too. I think that's so lame. And I'm kind of in the same vein with you, where it's like I like the underdog thing, and like for me it's just like if I like this, I like it. Like I don't care what you say, like this is what I like. And I think it took me a while to get there, because it is kind of like, you know, we're adult people collecting toys, and not everybody does that. Nowadays, I think after the pandemic, and not to bring that up, but it happened. After the pandemic, a lot of people got into like collectibles, right? So now like Funko Pops is a good example, where it's like, this is kind of like a toy, a collectible, whatever, but it's so mainstream. People don't bat an eye if you collect that. But if I tell somebody, oh, I collect Tamagotchis, they might be like, oh, that, like, they might think like, oh, that's kind of weird. Or most of the time people are very like, if I talk about like Digimon or Tamagotchi, people are very interested in it, but I might be like in a bubble of people who are, you know, nicer than a lot of other people. But yeah, like, is that something, I'm not to flip this into, this is your interview, not mine, but but like, did you ever feel like, you know, did you ever have that feeling of like not wanting to be as expressive about this hobby because it is like for children? I don't think it is at all. I think, you know, adults are creating these products. They just so happen to market them at children, so people assume that they are for children. But you know, I think that anything is for anybody. And so, like, did you ever have feelings of like not wanting to be where you are now, where you're like full Digimon, you'll talk to anybody about it, that kind of thing?
Definitely before I started the channel, for a long time, it was almost a guilty pleasure. But to my super close friends and family, I didn't hold anything back about it. I'd be drunk talking about Digimon and Pokemon and all that kind of stuff. But like to the rest of the world, it was a bit more of a guilty pleasure. But then after uploading my first video, I just got that spark, and I was like, this is kind of what I want to do. And then with every upload, it just built this flame bigger and bigger. And now I love it when people ask me, what's that hanging off your trousers? You know, it's like a Digimon Tamagotchi swacking around and that. So yeah, it just definitely before the channel, it was something that I found I embraced less in public. Whereas now I kind of like it. I kind of like the attention, because people are like, isn't that a Tamagotchi, or isn't that for kids? Because I'm like, right. But I fully understand how people do get shy about it. Like I say, I've got the confidence of all my subscribers behind me, for instance. You know, I've got that validation, I suppose is the word. So I don't have that level of self-doubt around it, because, you know, I upload a picture or a video of them, and I've got so much positive response from it that someone calling me a daft name or whatever just washes off, and I'm not bothered. So yeah.
Yeah, and I feel like nowadays people are more accepting and open to stuff. I think because of the internet. Like the internet exposes us to so much stuff and so many different people and the way people express themselves and stuff. So I think nowadays it's easier to be like a you know, into toy collecting or whatever you want to call it. I don't even feel like a toy collector, because it's very like replayable and stuff. At least like, you know, because I don't really collect other stuff except virtual pets. Well, digital cameras, but that's completely different. So you know, I think I lost my train of thought completely. Yeah, that's it. You're done. No more hot seat for you.
Cool. So thank you very much for your time, Lila. This has been absolutely amazing. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. And yeah, thank you. This was so much fun. And hopefully, you know, if you ever want to have me again so I can talk too much, let me know.
There you have it, ladies and gentlemen, Lila from Laitama. It was an absolute pleasure working with Lila once again. Now, I will say there were some technical difficulties that haunted us throughout this, and even some after we'd filmed it. I was having problems with my audio. I've patched it up as best I could, but, you know, there's a chance it sounded a bit weird in parts, and it's just because I was trying my best to salvage what I could, because this interview was genuinely absolutely awesome. But I have learned some valuable lessons from the recording of this one, so hopefully I won't have the same problems again in coming Finding Digimon episodes. I'm sure I'll have a whole new barrage of problems to fight through. But, you know, it's live and learn and all that. I'm making this up as I go along, and I'm doing what I can with what I've got. And yeah, it ain't stopping me anytime soon, because I am absolutely loving it. Thank you so much, Lila, for taking part in this, and thank you to everyone for supporting my digital dream. You are all absolutely ace. So, until next time, stay safe, stay ace, keep rocking, peace.